right, this is a question that is directed to Americans, an honest question that deserves an honest answer. How do you feel about President Donald Trump? How do you feel really? Are you still enjoying the fact that he is now your president? Because when he was campaigning, there are certain things that he said, and I liked those things. There is something that he said, I am going to stop because you have no idea how close we are. I was like, yeah, I also feel the same way. We are very close to that thing. You know, and if you're about to stop that thing, I'm very, very happy. Yay, go Trump, go Trump. And now, pardon me when I feel you feel like I'm swallowing a lot and stuff like that. Please, may you not be irritated. I have a bit of flu and my throat is dry. Anyway, but now his actions look like they are pushing us towards what he said is going to stop. Aibo. So I want to share a clip of what he said about Gaza first, so that we get a context of where I am going.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
And this is rejected by so many leaders of the world and the people in general. So let me read this first. The UN maintains that it would be against any plan that would lead to the forced displacement of Palestinians in Gaza. This as President Trump yesterday floated the idea that the US would flatten and develop a future Gaza Strip as the Riviera of the Middle East. So you're looking at such things. It cannot be that it is only President Trump or maybe even Netanyahu seeing the better future in what they are planning to do, when the entire world is saying, no, don't do that, because it is not viable. Even the people of Gaza, you see now, Donald Trump proposes resettling Palestinians from Gaza to rebuild the region as the Riviera of the Middle East. Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative, Mustafa, I don't want to read that because I might mess up that name, gives his reaction to what the US president had to say. You see, you'll hear his reaction and you can tell that at this very moment, President Donald Trump is busy poking the people's eyes everywhere, which is not good, which is absolutely not good for the security of the world, for the safety and security of the entire world.
It is really amazing to hear the President of the United States calling for a violation of international law, the worst kind of war crime. He's calling for ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people in Gaza, and in that he's violating every aspect of international law. This call is not only destructive but criminal also. And it is really amazing to hear some responsible people in his administration saying that legal aspect doesn't matter. If they say so, then we are not living in a world that is ruled by international law, but by the rules of jungle.
Right.
And besides
just to be clear, sorry to interrupt you, just to be clear, are there any circumstances in which Palestinians would agree to be relocated from Gaza in the coming months or coming years? Are there any circumstances?
Will British people in any circumstances accept to be transferred to France or any other country? Will Americans in New York accept to be transferred to Afghanistan? Of course not. No Palestinian would ever accept that. All Palestinian groups, all Palestinian political groups, everybody in Palestine is totally and completely against that. And not only that, all the Arab countries are against it. All the countries that Trump wants to transfer Palestinians to, including Jordan and Egypt and Saudi Arabia, are adamantly against such a move. It is really shocking that Mr. Trump would allow himself to even suggest such a horrible crime against humanity. It's totally unacceptable. And I think the world leaders today are also expressing their views that this is unacceptable in the 21st century to conduct ethnic cleansing of a whole people.
What do you think he is trying to achieve? What do you think he is trying to achieve? I mean, do you think it is part of a negotiation? Do you think he simply doesn't understand the history? What do you think he's trying to achieve?
He doesn't understand history for sure. He's absolutely ignorant of the Palestinian history and of the Palestinian resilience, that's for sure. He's absolutely ignorant of the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, that's also correct. But I think he is conspiring with Netanyahu to implement this plan. Because what they are thinking about is not only the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, but also the annexation of the West Bank, the occupied West Bank, and then maybe the transfer of the Palestinians in the West Bank as well to other countries.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't be comfortable with my president going around doing the things that he's doing, poking the entire world like he's looking for some reaction. You know, sometimes, you know what I normally say is that when people age and they are older and older and older, they don't see their future in this world anymore. It feels like they want to mess it up for everyone that will remain long after they've gone. So I don't understand it. I don't understand. You know, there's something that that President Donald Trump said when he was campaigning. I'm going to share that with you. He said, I am going to stop with a World War III. You have no idea how close we are. But his actions are saying something else. But I'm going to share with you the one clip of an American saying the things that are in my mind. You know, somebody, I was like, oh, okay. But still, I want to know. I'm curious, how many Americans are feeling like this guy here? How many?
All right, Donald Trump had a press conference with Benjamin Netanyahu, where Netanyahu walked him around the park like he was his pet, smiling the whole time. And Trump then comes in and says that we're going to now own Gaza. What do we have to do with Gaza? This is insanity. And he's saying, he said, we're going to go clear out the Palestinians from Gaza. What kind of lunatic position is this? And how is this anti-war? And how is this America first? It's none of those things. The Adelson family gave Trump $337 million in his 3 elections. And now he's giving them this as payback. Haaretz reported this in Israel already, that what Miriam Adelson asked for after she became his second largest donor in this election and overall #1 throughout all the elections for the Adelson family, that Haaretz reported that she wanted him to let Israel annex parts of the occupied territories. And here's Trump at a press conference saying we're sending Americans in. He even said to clean out things like unexploded bombs. Israel should do its own dirty work. So we're going to send our soldiers for Israel. We're going to pay for it all. And apparently we're going to try to move out 2.2 million Palestinians from Gaza. I mean, first of all, textbook definition of ethnic cleansing. Grotesquely immoral, even worse than Joe Biden. If you thought that was impossible, you were wrong. It turns out Trump is outdoing him in his servitude for Netanyahu. The whole time he looked cowed. He moved a chair in for Netanyahu. Netanyahu was grinning the entire time, saying, look at this world, my new pet in America. Washington, D.C. is occupied territory. MAGA didn't vote for this. And MAGA, let's see if you have principles or not. This is the most anti-war position there is. Sending American boys and girls to do Israel's dirty work in Gaza, even if you don't care about the Palestinians. What are we're going to have for Israel? We're going to spend more money, billions, trillions? How much are we going to spend to try to ethnically cleanse 2 million Palestinians out of Gaza? So this one, it doesn't matter if you're on the left, the right, the middle at all. This is, no one in America wanted this. MAGA didn't want the neocons back. Now Trump's a neocon. And Netanyahu is looking at him like, I told you, America, you have no chance at all. We run this place. So, and of course, not only Republicans, but Democrats in Congress will probably give Netanyahu a standing ovation. And maybe they'll do it in barks this time. And so I'm sick of this. The American people are sick of this, and MAGA's sick of this. It was humiliating for America today. Don't let Israel humiliate us like this anymore. Cut them off. No more funding for Israel. No, we're not going to go to Gaza and clear out Palestinians. No, we're not going to murder Israel. We're not going to lose our soldiers for Israel. Not one more dollar and not one more person for Israel. This is sickening. We all have to unite against this.
And Germany says Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem belong to the Palestinians. So you cannot tell me that the actions of President Donald Trump as somebody who's looking for peace, somebody who's looking for a peaceful world, and is not a warmonger. I stand no way, it ain't no way. I just want to recap a bit and make you remember what he said about World War III when he was campaigning.
I will end the war in Ukraine, I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening, and you have no idea how close we are.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America Last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out.
I am so super confused, and what I am going to do right now, I'm going to share a clip of President Donald Trump talking about his personality a bit. I was agreeing with him, I was like, yeah, you really do know yourself, right? So anyway, this is my concern. Where are we going with this kind of a behavior from President Donald Trump? Honestly, where are we going as the whole world now? Where are we going?
I'm not a drinker. I can honestly say I never had a beer in my life, okay?
Right.
It's one of my only good traits. I don't drink. Whenever they're looking for something good, I say, I never had a glass of alcohol. I've never had alcohol. I've just, for whatever reason. Can you imagine if I had, what a mess I'd be? I'd be the world's worst. But I never drank. I had a brother, Fred. Great guy. Best looking guy. Best personality. Much better than mine. But he had a problem. He had a problem with alcohol. And he would tell me, don't drink. Don't drink. He was substantially older, and I listened to him and I respected, but he would constantly tell me, don't drink. He'd also add, don't smoke. But he would say it over and over and over again. And to this day, I've never had a drink. And I have no longing for it. I have no interest in it. To this day, I've never had a cigarette. Don't worry, those are only two of my good things. I don't want to tell you about the bad things. There's plenty of bad things too. But he really...
With that, guys, I would like to say thank you for watching my videos. This is South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Kindly watch my ads in full if you have time and you are on Wi-Fi, as that is the only way you could be supporting the channel for now. Do have a beautiful day.